What's up, everybody? I'm Delia. I am the founder of Subvert Art Consulting. Today, I get to take you on a home tour of an art collection that I've been waiting so long to show you. It is unbelievably gorgeous. I think you're going to love it. It takes place in the Edgewater neighborhood with the owners, Shay and Becca. Let's begin.
Okay, so this set of 4 photographs were taken by a dear family friend of ours on family river trips. And so they are a beautiful representation of like where my heart lives. And he actually passed away, so it's really special to have these 4. I have a few others that I sometimes rotate in and out, but I right before he died actually bought these from him. This piece I'm just thoroughly obsessed with. I think it's so incredible. She carved each and every little piece and then did a print. This is a friend of mine, and I just love the wildness of it and the like very minute details. I feel like when you're a kid and you're looking like through the blades of grass, that's what this reminds me of. I just love it. So this was a creative project that I did after a miscarriage, actually, and we named our daughter Daisy. And so I knew I wanted to do something that could kind of memorialize her in our home. And so I have these really delicate little daisies amongst a bunch of other dried flowers and then some bigger ones. And it was very cathartic to make this. I think this is so fun. It's such a different way of representing our love for canoeing and the river. This ice cream with a huckleberry river running through it, the ice cream canyons, was just so playful. And we don't really have a whole lot of canoeing art per se in our home, but when I saw that, I knew we had to have it.
I think it's delightful that it's in the bathroom and also hilarious.
Yeah, it's true for many reasons. It just feels like, this bathroom is such an elegant space, I would say, one of my favorite in our home. So to put this in here made it feel more approachable almost of like, it's elegant, but also playful. Like we have this ice cream river here and they're canoeing down it, these miniatures. So it seemed like a good blend and mix of the space. This was for our kid. She's obsessed with the moon. And I saw this and knew that it came in this big scale piece and truly bought it for her. And she gets a kick out of it every time we walk down the stairs. So well worth it. I really love how her hands are just sitting on top of the water. It's so brings me right into that feeling of your hands just gently sitting on the surface of water. I also, to me in this picture, the water is cold and she's like gearing herself up to jump in, which I'm a huge fan of jumping in cold water. Like we'll do it anytime I can. So there's something so serenity seems like a really good word. Just like how grounding water is when you're in it, Our first family trip was actually to Iceland with our baby. And Shay had been there before. Radley and I, it was our first time there. It was just like the most magical, lovely place, just rainbows and waterfalls and wild horses. And it just kind of captured our hearts. The scenery is just so incredible. And so when we were trying to find kind of larger scale art for this wall, these photos just felt perfect. They really match, I think, the vibe. It's a bit of a contradiction from the bright, colorful wall over there, but I like that. I think it has a softness to it that kind of balances the brightness of the color. My kid is not the only one that's obsessed with the moon. I'm also obsessed with the moon. And I don't know, there's something so calming about this piece. And I purposely put it here because I love to look at it when I take a bath. It just makes me feel like I'm in nature amongst all of the other plants we have in here. The color of the moon in this just feels so rich and lovely. I'm really all about art bringing you joy. And so that's, I think, how we've selected our art mostly in this house. I know that people have art for lots of different reasons, but I think our core foundation is evoking joy through it.
When you just said that about laying in the bath, it made me think of how when you have something to look at, you're not like distracting yourself with
Yeah,
other things.
that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about that, but I think that's really true. And the bath is a place where you can easily get distracted or want to get out because it's boring or something. But having, really lovely plants and good art and a nice view makes it so that we can be in the bath a very long time. Okay, so this is a city line of Denver where we live, and my husband made it. It has rusted metal as the mountains and then reclaimed wood for all the other parts. And I love how he used the different tones of wood to create the buildings. This amethyst is actually the first piece of art that I ever bought. I saved up for a year when I was on a really tiny teacher's salary so I could buy this at the Denver Gem and Mineral Show. It's a behemoth. It weighs 100 pounds. And I love it. I think it's such an addition to the space. It brings really good energy. I think it came all the way from Brazil. This owl is another piece that my husband Shay made. It feels like the guardian of our house to me. I love how it's so expansive. So this is a piece that one of my best friends created. She does these epic portraits all in monochromatic schemes. And I love how this woman exudes just like freedom and joy and carefreeness. I love having this in the office because it reminds me that life doesn't need to be taken so seriously. So, this little tiny hummingbird above the daisies was a piece that I found from a art fair in Colorado. I think it's so darling. It's an embroidered hummingbird. The no risk, no magic is kind of how I feel about life. So I thought it'd be fun to have. I don't have a lot of worded art in our house, but it felt appropriate to cultivate that with our kid. This is the most beautiful tapestry that my mom made after we had our loss, actually. This is a little daisy above the stork. We named our lost Daisy. And so this was a gift after. It feels like hopeful to me, like Daisy's always with us, and it was a gift to kind of have remembrance of her, and also prior to having Radley kind of hold space for another baby to come. My mom also made this piece. It's a river scene, all felted with some beading. I love how it kind of playfully depicts our river experiences with such bright, vibrant colors. The book is called Maybe. So these all came from one of my favorite children's books. It's so whimsical and lovely and such a fun thing for Rad to have in her room. It's one of my favorite books. And so we just bought another one and cut it up and put it on here. And I think it's kind of the grounding point for the whole room. I mean, it has completely changed this is an open floor plan. And it, like not only has brought character to the dining room, but now when I'm in the kitchen, which is where I spend a lot of my days, I have this gorgeous selection of art to admire. And I feel like it's just really pulled the whole space together. We before just had this one heron, which I've always loved that piece. But it felt kind of empty here. And now it just tells the story of us in such a beautiful way that I just love. That was your idea to have these two right next to each other. And I love that, like gazing mother into her child. And we're both gazing at Radley in this sweet family photo. And then this one too is kind of gazing. That was something I really appreciated about what you brought to this gallery wall, was looking at how the different pieces talked to each other and interacted. I think I have a good eye for what I like, but putting them all together I could not have done that without your help. I love this picture. This is an old photograph of my grandmother in the war. She's playing ping pong. And my aunt had that recently on a family trip, and I was like, I need This fits so perfectly in this set. And then I really love this. This was made, it's like a collage that is photographed. And so it's all natural materials. And then when she's done making the collage, she puts them all back into the earth, which I thought was really special.
I didn't know that.
And then this is our wedding night. And I love this because it's a very different way of capturing a memory. Like it's not just a traditional bride and groom photo. You know, this really evokes to me how the night felt, all the magic that happened that night.
One other question, I feel like there's a lot of like femininity. You're raising a daughter. Do you feel like there's like so much nature?
I'm just so continually drawn to soft things in life, be it like water or bodies, like this soft body up here, and wanting to create that softness in our home, I feel like is really important for how we feel on a daily basis, but also modeling that for our daughter.